Hello, and welcome.
Silly. Oh. Hello there.
Maybe I should do this inside.
What you're about to listen to is an activity of amusement, a parable of infinite possibilities, and a tale of telephone.
Narrative Telephone is...
Narrative Telephone is a game in which a single person tells a story. They record that video and then pass it on to another person.
That second person only has one opportunity to watch the video.
Then they have to recite as best they can from memory the story.
Trying their best to recapture all of the details. That video is then passed on to another, and so on and so forth, and you can see where this goes.
After everyone's gone, the story will have morphed into this beautiful, lovely, fantastic amalgamation.
Narrative Telephone has gotten a little bit of a spike in popularity from the Critical Role series, who have made a few of these and put them on their YouTube channel.
These videos inspired several of us in the community to try and make our own version of Narrative Telephone, namely Discount Dungeons, From Afar Podcast, Paradice RPG, and Know Your Role.
Everybody in this video met on Twitter, and we instantly bonded over our passion for D&D and tabletop gaming. We absolutely loved getting the chance to collaborate with each other, and we're so excited to present our work of heart. So from every one of us here at Paradice RPG, From Afar Podcast, Discount Dungeons, and Know Your Role Podcast, thank you, Critical Role, for all that you do for the community. We love you.
Yo, check this shit out.
Now this story is about my grandmother, Mama Earl, and the day she learned what it takes to make a great adventurer. Now, my grandmother learned from a tiefling with one eye about a magical bow on the very tallest peak of the Sword Mountains, guarded by a griffin. Now it was rumored that if you faced this griffin's 3 challenges, he would give you this bow. So my grandmother set out, and on her journey, she waged war against wolves in the wondrous woods. She nearly drowned crossing the ravenous river, and she had her courage truly tested on the ascent up the adventurer's downfall, which is a cliffside, which, as the name implies, was the downfall of many great adventurers. At the top, Mama Earl found a griffin, whose feathers glittered like the stars on a clear night sky. This griffin said, "You've passed the first test," and then asked her a riddle. The riddle went something like this. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't age, but I grow. And I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. Mama Earl thought long and hard on this and realized it was fire. Once she said that, the griffin said, "You've passed the second test." And without warning, he attacked. Now Mama Earl says they fought for 3 days, which I find a little hard to believe, but nonetheless, on the dawn of the 3rd day, Mama Earl threw down the griffin and stood victorious. The griffin looked up and said, "You've passed the 3rd test," and handed her Orion's bow, a magical bow made from a meteorite and strong enough to shoot the stars themselves. But on that day, Mama Earl learned something greater than that bow, which she taught to me and I'm teaching to you now. She learned what it takes to make a great adventurer. A great adventurer needs courage. A great adventurer needs wisdom. And a great adventurer needs strength.
All right, so I just listened to David's story. I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna do a character, I don't think. I'm just gonna do DM Sean. All right. Now I'm here to tell you a story about my grandmother, Mama Earl. Now Mama Earl heard from tiefling, I believe, with one eye. Yes, tiefling with one eye about a griffin who was on a mountain. And Mama Earl heard a legend about this griffin who guarded the secrets of a magical bow of sorts. So Mama Earl went into the woods and traveled to find this mountain, the Sword Mountain. Yes, the Sword Mountain. So she traveled for days and days through the woods, fighting wolves yes, she fought many wolves going through the mountains until she reached some of the highest peaks, and there she found the griffin waiting for her. The griffin has 3 tasks that you must complete in order to get this magical legendary bow. She had completed the first task by making it through the wilderness and the cold, fighting off the wolves and rising the peaks of the mountain until she reached the griffin themselves, who said to her, "Mama Earl, you have completed your first task. Now, your second task is to answer this riddle." And Mama Earl agreed, and the griffin gave their riddle to her. I require air. This is where I'm going to lose it. The riddle goes, I require air, or I don't breathe, but I require air. I eat, but I eat everything in my way. And the last part, the griffin says, and I do not have a mouth, but water can kill me. I can drown. Mama Earl thought about this for a moment, wondered why the griffin didn't know their own riddle, and said, "Fire is the answer." And the griffin said, "You have passed the second task," and without warning, lunged forward with its talons to fight her, as she had already known if you defeat the griffin in combat, you get the prize. And as she told me, my Mama Earl, my grandmother, she said they fought for 3 days. I thought that was a bit of a stretch, but ultimately she said she defeated the griffin on the 3rd day, and the griffin said, "You have defeated me and passed your final test, and here is your reward." And she received Orion's bow, a legendary weapon made from a meteorite that said it could shoot the stars themselves. But on that day, with her prize and having smout the griffin, Mama Earl, had learned a deeper lesson. She had learned that an adventurer does not need a magical, legendary weapon, but all a hero needs is courage, wisdom, and strength. And that's the story of Mama Earl. Sorry, Shannon. I hope that's not too convoluted. Bye.
Well, normally I don't like to partake in storytelling. This is more something that Wiswick does, but I figured I'd humor him. Now, there was someone who had a grandmother. And the grandmother's name was Mother Earl. And Mother Earl told the story of of Mother Earl, going forth on some great journey. I don't know why. And this journey was for a magical bow. A bow that could shoot like no other. And so Mother Earl set out on this journey, as people do, and she came across a griffin. I feel like I'm missing a whole bunch of the story right there, but, well, I'll get the main points anyway. Main points of this story. The mother met the griffin. Nope, the grandmother, Mother Earl, met the griffin. And, before she did so, though, she did fight off some wolves. And then she finally met the griffin. And the griffin told her, "You have passed the first task." And Mother Earl was excited, I presume. And the griffin said, "You must now answer me a riddle." Now, I don't remember what the riddle was. It had something to do with, I need air, but I don't breathe. I don't drink, but water can kill me. Something like that. All I know is that the answer was fire. I liked that very much. So, Mother Earl answered the riddle. And when she answered the riddle correctly, the griffin attacked, apparently. So the battle raged for 3 days, which I find to be a little exaggerated. And after 3 days, Mother Earl was successful, and she was presented with the bow of Orion, Orion's bow, which was a bow that could shoot like no other. And it stood for, or it was powered on, courage, wisdom, and strength. I know I definitely left some things out, but I am not the storyteller of the group here, so Seacott, good luck.
Man, have I got a story for you. My homegirl just passed it on to me, and it's the story about somebody's grandmother, Mother Earl. Now, Mother Earl went on a quest to find a bow that could shoot like no other. On her quest, she came across a griffin. Now, it's been told to me that there are some key parts missing, but this bow that shoots like no other was found by Mother Earl on her quest, where, like I mentioned, she found a griffin. At first, she fought off some wolves, but then the griffin came to her and said, "That was impressive. That was the first part of your quest for this bow. So, the next part is a riddle." The riddle had to do something with, I don't breathe, but I need air, and I don't drink, but water can kill me. The key thing is that the answer to the riddle was fire. So, Mother Earl answered the riddle in turn, and when she did, the griffin attacked her. The battle with the griffin raged on for 3 days and 3 nights, which is a pretty exhaustive amount of combat. But at the end, she was successful, and she acquired this mighty bow, the Bow of Orion. And this Bow of Orion ran on the power of courage and friendship and love. And Mother Earl was successful in her quest for Orion's bow. Good luck.
Tudak, I just heard this great story from some stranger. I don't know who it was, but I heard a story, and I wanted to tell you. So it's about a grandmother. Her name was Mother Earl. I don't know whose mom she is. I don't know if her name was Earl or if she had a son named Earl. Maybe it was a dog. I don't know. But she was on a quest to get a bow. And it started with her fighting wolves. And it was a really, really tough battle. But after, for whatever reason, she was fighting wolves. I don't know why a grandmother was fighting wolves. A griffin came to her. And a griffin said, I have a quest for you to give you a mighty bow that can shoot like no other. And I guess Mother Earl had time on her hands. So she said, yeah, I'll go on this quest. And the first thing was a riddle, and I can't remember the riddle at all. But the answer was fire. And I don't think it was the right answer because they started fighting. And the fighting lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. But Mother Earl was successful, and she got the bow. And the real secret was that the bow was powered on friendship and love and cupcakes. Isn't that really great? I want to go on this quest now to get the bow and meet this mysterious Mother Earl and why she has that name. Okay, bye!
Hello, my name is Tudak, and I am speaking into this infernal contraption because Stacy has just told me what I can only assume is her version of a bedtime story. I would like to actually try and put my own spin on it and make it maybe a little bit more understandable. This is the tale of Grandmother Earl, who was on a quest for a bow of great power. Her quest began with a meeting with a griffin. The griffin asked her a riddle. That riddle has been lost to time. Grandmother Earl gave the answer of fire. That wasn't the correct answer, and so she and the griffin took part in great battle. That battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and then at the end, Grandmother Earl was victorious. She continued her quest and soon came upon the bow of great power. And when she found it, she took it to be identified and found that the weapon was powered on not normal eldritch magic, but on friendship and love and cupcakes. I think Stacy might have added that last part on, to be honest. But regardless, that is a story of Mother Earl and the bow of great power. Now this message goes on to Jeff. Strange name. Wonder if it's short for something.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. That's embarrassing. You'll have to forgive me, but I just heard the most exciting story I've ever heard in my life, and I needed a drink right after, so let me see if I can sum it up for you. The story is, of course, about Grandmother Earl in the quest for the bow of power. So Grandmother Earl goes on a quest to find this bow. Nobody knows what it does. She's very intrigued, clearly, so she sets off on a quest. During her quest, she comes across a griffin, who, as they're known to do, asks her a riddle. Grandmother Earl unfortunately answered the riddle incorrectly. She said fire, sounded right to me, but apparently it was wrong. As is customary, when you answer a griffin's riddle incorrectly, you must then fight that griffin to the death. Everybody knows this. So Grandmother Earl fights this griffin for 3 whole days, only breaking to sleep and have a snack every once in a while. On the 3rd day, Grandmother Earl lands a death blow to this griffin. Game over. So she continues on her quest. Weeks, trudging through the woods, looking for this bow until she finally finds it. Now when she picks it up, she feels a different kind of power and magic than she was expecting. She was expecting power. But it turns out that this bow was powered by the holy triumvirate of positivity. Love, friendship, and of course, cupcakes. And that, my friends, is the story of Grandmother Earl and the bow of positivity.
Greetings. My name is Relic, and my friend Jeff just told me the strangest tale. And, well, before I forget the details, I would like to tell it to you as well. The way the story went, it was about a old grandmother who went searching for a magical, powerful weapon known as the Bow of Power. And she went searching for this bow, and on her journey she ran into a griffin. This griffin, of course, as as most people would recall, presented her with a riddle. Jeff did not say what the riddle was, only that the grandmother responded incorrectly with the word fire. As you can see from the forge in my chest here, I am a big proponent of fire. I was quite sad to hear that that was not the correct answer. But because she answered incorrectly, she had to battle the griffin, and the battle lasted for 3 days. And she only stopped to nap and eat. I'm not sure when that would have happened, but she struck a fatal death blow against the griffin and continued on her adventure. She traveled for several more weeks into the woods until eventually she discovered the bow. And when she picked it up, she realized that it was not power that radiated through the weapon, but love and friendship and cupcakes, the triumvirate of positivity. And that, my friends, is the story of the grandmother and the bow of power. And I do so hope you enjoy hearing it. Farewell.